So, hello and welcome. My name's Dean Francis and I'm from the Urban Mindfulness Foundation. This is an invitation to explore a practice of just resting in awareness. The practice really is designed to allow us to be with who we are and the situation as it is. Not so we do nothing about whatever's arising, but so perhaps we can see it more clearly and respond more wisely. So I'll start the practice by inviting you just to check into the posture here. Feeling into the body. Noticing how you're sitting. And not really over-efforting in how you're sitting here, but at the same time adopting a position that invites a sense of stability, purpose and agency. A real sense of knowing that you're here and valued. If you've not done any contemplative practice before, maybe allowing the feet to be flat on the floor if you're sitting in a chair, and the back to be straight and self-supported, but not rigid. A sense of a strong spine that holds the rest of the body in a sense of soft alertness. Remembering the postures are container for practice and often represents what we are bringing to it. So rather than worrying about perhaps what we're going to get from this practice, really checking in the posture and noticing what we're bringing to this practice. So allowing the body to be still and stable, and at the same time at ease. And then I'll invite you to bring to mind your intentions and motivations for practicing here, for following the guidance to whatever extent you may. Our intentions might be just to simply follow the guidance as best we can. And the motivation, which is the why, may be for our own well-being and the well-being of others we come into contact with or connect to. And letting go of the intention and motivation. Taking care not to turn it into an expectation, assumption, or a goal for this practice. But just allowing it to orientate the journey. And now I'll invite you to gather your attention into the breathing body. Maybe taking 3 deep breaths here. In through the nose and out through the nose. And as we move up close to the breath, allowing this time to be a time that nourishes you. If we find the mind's really busy, it may be useful to introduce some coherent breathing and maybe regulating the length of the in-breath with the length of the out-breath, so they're of equal length and rhythm, just for a short while. Or it may be useful to say a phrase, breathing in, breathing out, silently to yourself. So finding your own way in here. What would it be like to follow the full length of the in-breath and the full length of the out-breath without distraction? And every time we notice the mind wandering off into planning, judging, liking or disliking, acknowledging what's there, recognizing it, and then gently and kindly coming back to this breathing body. So not judging yourself if the mind goes off, knowing that this is just what minds do. meeting whatever is there with a tenderness of heart, and knowing that it's all part of the process as you gently come back to this breathing body. And then it might be useful to notice the out-breath. So gently shifting your attention to follow the full length of the out-breath all the way. So if you're still counting or saying a phrase and regulating the breath, allowing the breath to return to a natural and soothing rhythm as you watch the out-breath. Is it possible to notice what happens in the body as you breathe out? There may be a sense of softening or relaxing or opening. And perhaps in the same way, the mind can learn from the body and let go of thinking as you breathe out. A sense of letting go. I'll now invite you to widen your awareness to include any bodily sensations here. So if you care to, you may choose to scan through the body, or just pay some tender attention to any sensations in the body. Is there any unnecessary holding on here? Can you allow the body to trust your seat? It may be useful to check in on the forehead, allowing the forehead to be soft, the eyebrows, a sense of space opening up between the eyebrows as the eyes soften, the cheeks, the jaw, and then checking in further down into the shoulders. Is there any room for the shoulders to drop just a little bit more? trusting gravity and the strong back and spine on the earth below to support you here unconditionally. Checking in maybe on the hands. Is there any room to soften the hands or the tummy or the feet? Noticing any points of contact with the body and the chair or your cushion. And in turn, the miles and miles of earth below that supports you on this spot unconditionally. And as you rest on this spot of earth and chair or cushion, perhaps noticing how Mother Earth holds you here indiscriminately and unconditionally. And allowing the body to trust Mother Earth here. As we soften and relax. And if we expand our awareness further still, we may bring to our minds the air that surrounds the envelope of the skin. Feeling the temperature of this air that envelopes you here. So resting in this space. Body held by the unconditional support of the ground and the air enveloping the body unconditionally, indiscriminately. This air that carries sound waves, smell, and all the oxygen this body needs. Surrounding the body, nourishing the body, unconditionally. And resting in this space. Is it possible to notice the unconditional support of the earth and the air that surrounds this body. The medium that all of us utilize and exchange. The medium of air that fills this biosphere and resources all life unconditionally, just like the earth. Both the earth and the air around us have much to teach us. And allowing ourselves perhaps to be held in this unconditional biosphere that holds us here, supports us physically, and resting here. And in this same way, the ground and the air hold everything in it or on it unconditionally. Are we able to meet whatever arises with an unconditional and kind regard? If we notice thoughts or thinking, planning, ruminating on scenarios, meeting them as they arise with a tenderness of heart, offering whatever you find your deepest attention before letting go and coming back to this breathing body, held unconditionally by the earth and the air that envelopes everything and connects all of us. Resting here. So nothing wrong or nothing to fix in this particular moment. But we may notice thoughts arising, planning, judging, liking or disliking our experience, whatever it may be. And the invitation here is just to meet whatever you find, observing clearly what it is, with a tenderness of heart. Maybe even checking in on what it may be trying to teach you. And staying with that for a few moments before breathing out and coming back to this resting body. If we're overstimulated by thinking, just following the breath as best you can. And as we come towards the end of the practice, maybe dedicating this particular session to learning about the unconditional support of the earth and the medium we call air that actually connects everyone and everything in our biosphere. And maybe making a wish that we may learn from this unconditional support to be with our own selves, and in so doing, learn how to be with others. So just for a few moments here, resting. Letting go of any idea of meditating and just being here. Just being human. May you go well. Practice. Stay safe.